I've been speaking about how millennials and Gen Z are struggling economically, how for the first time in history, our generation is going to be worse off than the generation that came before us. Now, there's a common retort to this, which is, well, the older generation will eventually die and pass those assets on to the next generation. This is the standard and historic transfer of wealth from one generation to the next. But this time is different. And it doesn't negate the real world struggles facing young people today. And here's why. One, when it comes to intergenerational wealth transfers, timing matters. So wealth is usually transferred when someone's older, in their 50s and 60s. But millennials and Gen Z are facing financial headwinds today, and in their 20s and 30s, when people are traditionally buying houses and starting families and investing in careers. And they're unable to do these things for the first time in American history. Student debt, high housing costs, stagnant wages, these are all happening in millennial and Gen Z's most formative stages of life. So delays in building wealth at this point is compounding over an entire career and an entire lifespan. Two, not everyone inherits. Our economy is particularly lopsided today, where the vast majority of wealth is in the hands of the top 10% of older Americans. So as a result, 90% of Americans are not going to be inheriting all that much, if any, which means that intergenerational wealth transfer will mostly just reinforce the existing inequalities in the American economy today. Three, living off an older generation is not financial independence. Young people often rely on their parents for help, whether it's childcare or living at home after they graduate school. But living with your parents in your 30s because you cannot afford a home is certainly not building the independence that is needed for this generation. A healthy economy should allow Americans to thrive without needing to inherit wealth. Four, wealth is often transferred in an illiquid way. When wealth is passed down, it's in the form of real estate or retirement accounts. And so if you have pressing economic needs, you're not going to be able to access that. Older Americans are living longer and spending more. Because of longer lifespans and rising healthcare costs, the older generation's wealth is being consumed and therefore not being transferred in the way that the generation before theirs was able to. So the bottom line is, yes, wealth will eventually transfer to the millennials and Gen Z, but it's going to be doing so slowly, unevenly, and too late to address the structural economic challenges that today's young people face.